Welcome to another Monday night rookie roundtable. Every time we take like 2, 3 weeks off, I'm always like, are people gonna come? Because you break that cycle a little bit, and people are like, oh wait, Monday night, what's Monday night again? So seeing the people that are here, seeing the names, I just want to first say thank you so much for being here. Like it always it means a lot to me, like having, seeing you guys on video, knowing that I am doing something that is of value, right? So just for me, personally, I feel very blessed. I feel very blessed that I have gone through and paid the price for a lot of different things that I actually have something to share that people are willing to listen to. All right, so thank you guys always for being here, and I hope that tonight we're going to be able to be a little more connected. One of the things I love to do is bring the material and the spiritual together. Work for US. Um, that's funny. I I I just came back from Peru, so some of you guys know that Peru is like a second home for me. Okay, like I've gone down there. There's a magical energy down in Peru that is, I don't know, really unexplainable, especially when I land and you're surrounded by mountains. These Andes mountains like hold so much wisdom and knowledge. Just by being there, I feel something trying to tune me. That like when we're here in the US, it's like we go out of tune very, very fast and very easily, because it's so fast moving. It's like it's transactions and go from point A to point B, and we're always in a rush. And in Peru, I mean, I was I had an appointment with my friend for a tattoo session, and she showed up 2 hours late. And that's not like, that's not how we function and we operate in the States, right? We're like, no, always be on time. You want to change your life, be your word, be on time. And then in Peru, everyone's just like moving like with the wind, right? And so I learned a lot being down there, and I really contemplated a lot about what is it that I'm doing, and why do I need to go bigger and more, and how many more units do I need, and how many more people should be attending my events and things like that. It's always like more, 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 right? So there's a big code there that is reminding us that it is always enough, that you are enough, wherever you're at is perfect, and that's enough. And there's so much wisdom in the being thankful for what you already have and what and who you already are. Because we're always comparing in the States, like we're always comparing. There is like this deep wisdom of reminder of like that where we are is always enough. And from that place, we generate abundance. There are so many people down there, literally, I mean, they're living on like $100 a month, and they're as abundant as you can like see. They're, food, everything is cheaper down there, yes, but just the way of life, like the mamitas that are down there, and they're making like, what is it, like 20 soles? That's not even $10 a day, so they're able to, and they're laughing, and they're smiling, and they're very all in like really great mood, right? And then I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm stressed the heck out because I have a $13 million hotel that I'm trying to close. And one of my brothers down there was like, dude, why are you even still trying? Where are you trying to go? Right? And it's just like a reminder that there's never an end to where we can go. After this is done, then it's what, a $50 million hotel, then it's $100 million hotel. And so like, when is it over? When does this like craving for more end? So it's a really, really great reminder down there in Peru. And so I started to talk to a lot of people about different teachings, because in Peru, in the Sacred Valley where we are, there's a lot of expats that come from all over. Everybody has very deep spiritual practices. They bring knowledge from all different walks of life. I was talking to it was actually kind of funny. There was somebody down there talking about money, They did a workshop on money, and I was so like intrigued, and this guy had created his own coin. I don't remember what coin it was, but he created his own coin, blew up, and now he just lives down there. And he bought like 15 people down there, four-wheelers. Like it's it was really cool to see the abundance that was available in a little tiny village. And this is Pisac. That's where I stayed. So I lived there for almost a year, and then I lived there for 2 months, and then I was just down there for like 12 days. So some of you guys have seen on my Instagram stories and things like that. But a lot of the teachings that I've learned, that I've listened to from all the different walks of life, and even through the books, Richest Man in Babylon, King Solomon in the Bible, the Ayurvedic like teachings, like so much of it comes down to being responsible with your money and honoring your money. We let it leak out everywhere. So I actually sent out a newsletter yesterday, about some of the teachings of The Richest Man in Babylon. That was a book that influenced me a lot when I was younger. I was like, oh, so I only have to put these things in practice, and I can really change the trajectory of my future. And it's not really about the practice itself, it's what the practice brings to like you. I changed my relationship to money when I learned of setting aside money. When money comes in, putting it aside and automatically into other accounts. I started doing this when I was 17 years old. I had three Ziploc bags. I didn't even know what I was really doing at the time. But every day I would put $5 in one bag that says investment, $5 in the bag that says expenses, and $5 in another bag that says charity. Okay, so these were the three bags, plastic bags that I started with when I was in college. Like right when I entered college, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and I read The Richest Man in Babylon. These two books back to back influenced me so much, and I didn't know what I was doing at the time because I would make money like, working, trading, selling things. I was selling windows and sidings for a while. Anytime I got money, every day I would just 15 bucks. I'm like, I can do 15 bucks a day. I would put them into these three Ziploc bags. And at one point, the Ziploc bag was like this fat, and I had to like get a second Ziploc bag. And I had three Ziploc bags like that. It changed my relationship to my income. Because if I didn't have those Ziploc bags, for sure I would have spent it on beer, whatever, all the things that you buy when you're in when you're in college. Right? Like that money would have definitely leaked out. So one of the principles that I've lived by, and I know it's not like ancient wisdom, but it might be, is putting your it's the way in which you save money that you can change your relationship to your income. All right, so that's one. The second one um, is paying attention to how you spend. Right, we spend on a whim all the time. Random things that we see, we're just like, oh yeah, buy this. Amazon, buy this. Right, like literally, like I tell my wife, I'm like, dude, every day is like Christmas over here because we get packages at the door every day. Like, do we pay attention to what it is that we spend? Like at one point, I literally put a Christmas tree outside my door all year round, and the UPS and the Amazon guys would put it under the tree and take a picture, and that would be what's in my email all the time. Like a present under the tree, under our little Christmas tree in front of the door. Now it's funny, but also it's kind of irresponsible in the way that we're doing money, right? Like if I was to actually pay attention to every single penny I spent, for probably every single one of us, like yes, we have like bank accounts and it shows us like how much money went in and out, but if we really think about right now, how much money do you think you spend a month? And if you wrote down every penny that you spent, you would be shocked at the fact that you spend way more than what you think you spend. Food here and this there, and just, I'd walk by and I like this little thing in the shelf, buy this, buy gummy bears, buy, all the things. It's just to bring awareness to your money. If you pay no attention to it, it will leave you. That's the second thing. And one of the third things that all if I think about all the different cultures and all the teachings that I've learned from all around the world, they always say to diversify your investments. And for me, until I met Don, actually, so Don is here, Don Haley, we are throwing the event together. So, we would love to see you guys live at the event. It's on 420. It's a 1 day event. We actually have dinner afterwards for the VIP. We have a cigar lounge after for the VIP, and then we have a next day excursion with the VIP. But it is a 1 day event. It'd be awesome to see you guys live there. But we're also going to be streaming virtual. So Nick will kind of throw all the things in there, and it's going to be a very high caliber event. When I met Don, he actually, I'm always like, I consider myself very open-minded and open-hearted, except when it comes to investments. I'm like, real estate. That's it. Don't do nothing else. Do real estate. If you're going to diversify, diversify inside real estate. And for some reason, just because of Don and who he was and how he showed up, actually unlocked my mind about, oh, the stock market's at its all-time high, crypto's at its all-time high, and these things are at its all-time high. And I'm over here looking at real estate, which is actually not at all-time high, right? It's actually probably going to be like all-time lows for commercial real estate right now. So, interesting enough, you know, meeting Don, going to Peru, and I'm like, yes, let's throw an event together. And it was at another event, an intimate, smaller event that Don and I met. And now we create this. And I have no idea where it's going to go, but I'm super excited. So we wanted to kind of recreate an event that is small and intimate, right? Just kind of like on this Zoom right now, right here, right now. If all 33 of us on this Zoom really, really kind of mastermind what is possible, what can we do together? Like there's probably, if we really, really was able to like lock it in, we would probably be able to create multiple billion-dollar businesses here, just in this little group right here. If we really understood what each person's like area of excellence is, if we really understood what gifts you can bring, if we really understood what roles we can play, I know what I can bring to the table. And I know that with each one of you, I would be able to bring double that to the table just because of who you guys are, who your relationships, what relationships you have. You may not even know the value of the relationships you have in your life and what could be created there. So that is kind of what we are doing. I invest in crypto, fractional real estate. Let's connect. Okay. Yeah. So we'll talk about that too, Rachel. Love to chat with you more about that. And Don is a freaking crazy powerhouse. I'm so excited to learn from him and so excited to be sharing the stage with him and creating more things.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Really look forward to it as
There he
well.
is. Um, so welcome, Wayne. Thanks for coming here today. So yeah, that's where we're at in terms of, I just wanted to drop that a little bit, because we are having the event on Saturday. So Nick posted the Eventbrite. Hop in. Today's kind of the last day for like 50% off, but the virtual is going to be just as awesome as the live. Well, the live will probably be more awesome, but you'll get tons of value in the virtual. Like this is not just an event where we're like speaking at people, right? Like a lot of events and seminars that you go to is, oh my God, look at the speakers they got, and it's just Ed Milet and whoever, Tony Robb and Grant Cardone. You just got people that are just kind of speaking at you, and it's cool. Like they're very inspiring. A lot of them have moved me greatly, but this is a true mastermind, okay? Including the people that are going to be on virtual. It's going to be a mastermind where you will get to know each other intimately. Okay, and I'm not just saying because it's a small group. I'm saying because there are exercises that we will implement that will create deeper connection. Okay, so I come from personal development background, NLP training, that Tony Robbins-esque things, right? Like I actually come from the same trainings that Tony Robbins came from. Um, yeah, so we'll throw some of those things in there. And what we're actually showing, it's called Freedom Formula, what we're creating, but what we're actually going to be showing in there is not is a business that you can actually start, true side hustles. Yeah, so true side hustles that are that you're going to get to be a part of. It's commercial real estate, it's commercial debt, it's crypto, it's Forex algorithm. Like these are true ways that we've seen and we've helped people really make money in there. And Don and I did like a little podcast today, and he's like, "Well, how much can people make?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's really up to them." But if you were, if you had a large network already, if you knew people already, like you could probably make 6, 7 figures a month doing it. So that's what's like kind of what we want to put out there and share with people. Like my goal is to democratize private equity. My goal is to allow people to um is to learn what I've learned, right? Because myself and Don, we've been in a lot of rooms that other people are not. We've paid a lot of money for mentorships, for events, to be in the VIPs. Hundreds of thousands of dollars I spent on mentorships. Okay, so I've learned a lot. So for me, it's just about let me share it. Let me share it. If it takes me 7 years to get here, I would like for you to be able to get here in 3 years. That's the goal. It's just about sharing. It's about service, and I find that Don and I were both kind of in the same mindset around that, and very much like deep in our faith. Like that's how we connected. We weren't even talking about business. He and I were not talking about business, talking about A Course in Miracles. We're talking about our spirituality, our faith, and that's how we connected. So most of the times when you connect with people, when you go network with people, it's not just about, oh, this is what I got, like in terms of business, right? This is a deal, this is a real estate thing, and this is the debt, and what my business is. It's beyond that. Business will get done, money will get made if you are living inside your passion and inside your enthusiasm. That's something that I always say too. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to drop that real quick. If you have questions, feel free to message me directly. But that event will be at View It Studio this Saturday at noon. Don's actually giving away a $15,000 prize at noon, so be there. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Um, Peru, ancient wisdoms about investing. And I would love for anybody to also raise your hand of things that you've learned that impacted you deeply in your heart about investments, about building relationships, about money. Not the limiting beliefs that we picked up, right? Not that money doesn't, doesn't grow on trees. Like Nick and I were having a conversation earlier. I was like, so you drive all the way to a supermarket to, you know, buy your groceries and then you come back and cook. And then I just order on Instacart and we're out doing our things. When we come back, it's already here, right? I'm like, what did it cost? Like $7 extra, $8 extra, right? Like we have to, there. And then he was like, well, money doesn't grow on trees or something along the lines of that. And I'm like, dude, you gotta change your mindset. It's about valuing your time, and he gets it. But we have these programmings, right? And it's the ancient wisdoms. Ancient wisdom. When I say ancient wisdoms, it means it stands the test of time, and it breaks ceilings. It breaks limiting beliefs. And that we can take on. Like this is how these ancient wisdoms for me. It doesn't have to be from a long time ago. Like Robert Kiyosaki drops a lot of ancient wisdoms, I think, for me, because it changed my mind completely. It changed my life forever. So if you have any of those things, I would love to share and hear it. And yeah, I would if you got some ancient wisdoms to share. I have some more, but I want to give everyone a chance if you have some.
Hey, Alex, good evening.
Ah, there you are. What's up?
I'll share one. Thank you for reminding me. One of my favorites of all times is you don't by this is by Jim Rohn. This is the mentor that Tony Robbins learned from. He says you don't change destinations overnight, but you change directions. So if you're broke, start a get wealthy plan. If you're out of shape, start a get healthy plan. But make the first step. So your constant teachings and all that, this is a perfect beginning. I don't know. I can't see the big picture. Take the first step. The destination will show up as you just take the first step. So thank you for letting me share. I hope it served.
Oh yeah, for sure. Jim Rohn is one of my favorites. I listen to so many, probably everything there is on YouTube about Jim Rohn, I've listened. All of the lectures that he gave. He used to do a lot of the transformational trainings, leadership trainings for MLM companies as well. Like freaking crazy. If you haven't heard about Jim Rohn, just YouTube him and listen to some of his stuff. It is everything is ancient wisdom. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, another one that really resonated with me, okay, is it has to do with patience. Okay, like when we are doing something new, when we are learning about something new, there's always frustration, right? I think about it in terms of like an instrument. Like when I first started to learn the guitar, I mean, oh my God, there were times that I just wanted to stand up and scream. Like I just wanted to scream. I'm like, why won't my hands do the same thing that this video is telling me to do? Like, why can't I just like strum and move my fingers at the same time? Like, it would get very frustrating. So, in terms of frustration, um, uh, we have to shift our relationship to that. You know, that the frustration really is showing us, really all frustration is where we are to where we want to be. Like, there is something in the way. That's the frustration, right? And if we just know that, look, if we just one step closer. We pile up all the little small steps. It's like what Nelson just shared. The direction, you know where you want to go, okay? And you know that every step that you take is a forward moving progress towards it. Like changing the relationship to it. Because frustration is just showing us, okay, this is the step that we get to take now. Okay, and it's about mastering each small step and being okay with the smaller steps, not just the end goal, right? Like we'll get there eventually, but master the underwriting, master your relationship to savings, master like your mindset about diversification, about taking action. You know, I think it was Andy earlier was sharing with the teens. He read Rich Dad Poor Dad when he was in his 20s, and it was only a couple years ago that he started taking action. And then when he took action, it changed his life. You know, but we get paralyzed. We get paralyzed with that, like the things it takes in the middle to get there. So that's another one of the ancient wisdoms. I have a couple more that I was reflecting with people in down in Peru with.
I have one,
Yeah,
if you
let's
don't mind
go.
me. I think I think the charitable mindset, you know, not charitable meaning not just like financially, but giving in the way of your knowledge. Sometimes you could probably, just give a helping hand. Um, I think that's kind of like the first step to kind of, to any type of success. I mean, if you don't have that charitable mindset and you're running $1 billion business, you're just going to be a lonely person, right? You're just going to be this lonely guy and not helping others and always having this, greediness and running into a lot of most likely legal problems in the end, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm a Buddhist, so I grew up I didn't really start learning and practicing Buddhism until, until like midway in my 30s, when I started to kind of realize things, about life and death and all that stuff, and I started to learning. And there's a lot of things in there that you kind of, put into your life. And in Buddhism is, kind of realizing it's not just like, religious practices, but it's more of life and what everybody teaches, the philosophers, and wisdom from the ancient wisdom. I mean, all that is in, you know giving us a better life, right? So, some of the things in there, there's some precepts in there that I want to mention, right? Since you're hopping onto this, the spiritual path, right? So there's and it's all have to do with our success in life, and even for ourselves, living a happy life is charitable mindset, perseverance, patience, following the rules of the game pretty much, and meditation.
Mm,
And one of those meditation is practicing, it's practicing your mind. It's practicing to find the silence in your mind, and then in that silence, in that practice, you will find the patience and everything else above that,
mm.
right? So that kind of resonated with me in that practice, and I and it's changed my life in the way, okay, when you're hitting hardship, and when you're because your our life is not always, it's not always, always the, you know you're not always going to make a lot of money. There's moments that you fail to, and there's moments that you're successful in things, or you're winning. But then in practicing those, they kind of help me go through that path of failure and success, and up and downs. It keeps you in the middle path.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you. There's a really profound, another ancient wisdom that I probably A Course in Miracles brought it to me as you were sharing that, is like, when I'm anxious and when I'm worried, like when I'm afraid, just be still. Be still. When you're angry, just be still. When you're judgmental, just be still. Like there is something about that meditation of being still to allow, whatever you want to call it, spirit to come in and intervene with this trigger that you have, right, towards something. So yeah, I love your share about the meditation and being center and grounded. Um, yeah, so welcome, Magdalia. We are sharing some wisdom that we have come across in our lives where it has just greatly impacted our lives, right? Shifted the way that we think about things. Because, it's so important. Like the mindset, these are things that change our mindset, and our mindset actually is directly correlated to the results that we manifest in the 3D world. Right, so like out here in the material world, in the physical world, things are actually manifested through our thinking, right? It's think and grow rich. It's not do and grow rich. It's think and grow rich, which is such an interesting title. And everybody reads this book and it's like, oh, it's think and grow rich. But immediately after reading the book, they go into a doing. Right? It's like, oh, what do I do now? Right? It's immediate go into the do. So yeah, Think and Grow Rich also has tons and tons of wisdom. But yes, go ahead, Donna. I'd love to hear yours.
Yes, so there's a quote by a Scottish Himalayan expeditioner named William Hutchinson Murray that I read many years ago, and it stuck with me. It says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. It goes on. I'll copy it into the chat, but
Okay, awesome.
it's kind of like what Grant says. You have to commit first. And that's what he's saying. Like so many things happen once you commit.
That is totally an ancient wisdom. The the commit, then figure it out. The ready, fire, then aim. Right? Like this is it's not new concepts, right? Like there's a lot of books written about the same thing. There is a truth to it where when you commit and you take action, this moment you commit to take action, the universe and your destiny has already changed, has shifted. The moment you commit to something, the moment you say, I am investing in myself, right? The moment that you go and invest in your first investment, whether it be real estate, stocks, or whatever, like it takes something in you. It changes you forever the moment you actually do it, like commit it. Yeah, I love that. Amazing. See, that is an ancient wisdom, right? And I hope that the outcome of this call here today is that we each start to look and remember the ancient wisdoms. We look for it now, right? On our daily, everyday life, that we're like, I'm looking for the wisdom that will change my life, right? Like, seek and you shall find. But if you don't even know what you're seeking, you will find things that you have no idea what you're looking for. It will be completely in alignment to that. So just a little bit today is to get back on course of, yes, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the game-changing moments for me, the ancient wisdoms that lasts and survives the test of time. Welcome, Wayne. Welcome, Mike. Hawk. Welcome, brother. So we are right now talking about ancient wisdoms, which is things that we have heard, things that we have read that have truly impacted our life in terms of either creating more happiness, more peace, more freedom in our lives, or in investments. Right? So there's a lot of those. And speaking of that, my biggest one, okay, that I always really live by is prioritize peace of mind over everything. If you prioritize peace of mind over everything, when you're investing, when you are relating with your family, your friends, your coworkers, the career that you take, the job that you take, where you move to in your, if you're moving, who you're going to be in relationship with, like prioritizing peace of mind over everything. As you become wealthier, as you have more money, as your net worth increase, you will recognize, you will remember that peace of mind, your risk tolerance kind of goes down because you're like, I want peace of mind, right? I'd rather have peace of mind than a higher return on my cash. That is going to be like that's the number one thing that I live by in my life. Or I try to, right? Sometimes I choose some chaos over peace for sure. Sometimes I choose to be, I don't know, more stressed than be at peace because I'm like, yeah, let me go hard $200,000 on this deal. That is not peace of mind. That is desire and ambition and nothing wrong with it. But, maybe in that time I forgot to choose peace of mind over it. But okay, what anybody else have some ancient wisdoms, things that you have lived by, things that you've read? Nice. Wayne,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank
Good to see
you.
you, Alex, back from Peru.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been a meditator for a few years now. I learned transcendental meditation.
Mm.
Pretty simple stuff. You just sit in silence 20 minutes twice a day. and it's had a big impact on my life.
Hmm. How so?
Well, what Maharishi Mahesh Yogi
Hmm.
says, he's the one that brought it to America. He taught the Beatles how to meditate. And he said that when we transcend down into the unified field, that is the source of everything, the source of all creativity, the source of all the universe. So when we go down into when we transcend down into the unified field, if we do that consistently and regularly, then we bring back a little bit of that bliss, that peace that we find there. And it just comes out in our daily life.
Hmm. Well, I love it. I love the way that you put that. So I kind of have a tough time meditating. Does anybody else have a tough time meditating? Thank you,
It is
Javon.
hard at first.
It is hard at first. I'm like, ah, what's my cell phone doing? What's this doing?
Hey, my form of meditation is smoking cigars.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely things in which I've done allows me to be in a trance state, but sitting, meditating, that has been something that is challenging for me. Now, actually, it was not challenging when I was in Peru. It is more challenging when I'm in the States, which is, I don't know. It's more me than anything, but it says something about the way that the energy field of the US actually, I guess majority.
Yeah, and it's also all the digital noise we have around us.
Mm-hmm.
So when I meditate, I go into my bedroom, which is electronics free. And, sometimes in the morning, maybe if I got stuff to do that day, it's a little harder. But typically in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock, is when I like to meditate. I tend to have a much deeper meditation because I need that break from work, being busy all day.
Are you sitting or are you laying? How are you doing it?
Yeah, you definitely want to sit up straight, have
Okay.
your spine as straight as possible. I just sit on my bed with my legs crossed,
Uh-huh.
but I've often done it in my office chair. But it just seems better when I sit legs crossed.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna.
I think meditation, if you really practice it, you can do meditation in every formal way. You don't need to be sitting like you see on the pictures and people doing it. It's it's not it's not that what people think it is, where you kind of have to find a really like quiet place, or you could do it right in the middle of nowhere. You could do it like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to have a mantra, like your own mantra, where you could just, okay, in that moment, you just kind of bring it back to that mantra that you practice every single day. And then people can walk. They say that you can walk meditation, standing meditation, laying meditation, you know. Um, Meditation is just back to a sense of like, calmness, right? And you're finding back to that. That's why people practice. That's why there's yogis that practices mantras. So if you find a mantra that you resonate with, you just have that and practice it for the rest of your life. All of a sudden, you get to a point where that mantra is your life, right? Like when you run into any kind of busy or of those sorts, you can do that mantra and you
Yeah.
just go back right
It's
away
it's
in that
very
moment,
it's yeah,
instant moment,
it's very
instantaneous.
interesting. Hmm. Very interesting you say that because yes, so there's something, if people don't know, there's something called kirtans. Kirtans is like devotional singing and chanting of mantras. And in that space, I do really feel a lot of times like we are united and connected in one. And I am learning a mantra right now as a Hanuman Chalisa, and that is a very, very long mantra. So I'm learning like one kind of line a day. But one of my brothers down there was like, dude, this mantra changed my life. So yeah, That's cool. So, lots of different ways to meditate, of course. We all have, a lot of people have different perceptions of meditations, but I want to, allow more sharing of anybody that has things that has changed your life, right? Like not really what works and what doesn't work or what people should or shouldn't do, but just, what has impacted your life greatly that is an ancient wisdom. Yeah, Qigong is definitely a big one. Tongue touching roof of your mouth and moving. Hmm.
Hey Alex, how you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Hey, yeah, so I want to say probably like 15 years ago, I was interested. I was watching some guy on the internet, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to learn how to heal like Jesus, then I bought his DVDs, and I was like practicing all these the Taoism and all that stuff. So it was basically learning how to heal, and you connect with the Northern Star and the Southern constellation or whatever, then you bound the energy, then
Thank you. I left without them, and I'm like,
Oops. Go
oh
ahead.
anyways, share the name of the guy who does it all, but yeah, it was very interesting because it gives a whole different dimension of how to use the elements around you, because the energy is very abundant, you know what I mean? There's a lot of energy in the air. You can harness the energy and use it for to your will, but you have to direct it. And so I've been able to manifest a lot of stuff in my life just by simply visioning it and through imagination. So
Mm,
there's something in the spiritual realm where you can trigger what you want if you focus on it hard enough, you know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
and it was like the other day, I said, okay, let's see if this works. And I imagined myself in front of this woman, and then I try to bring all my five senses into it. And then literally like a few weeks later, I was in front of her having the same experience that I was imagining. So I don't know if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's it works. So
It
anyways,
is.
yeah.
So in the tantric practices and different tantric lineages, it is about being able to use your force to be able to manifest things in the world, and it's very, very powerful. It is like people do a lot of these things. Now, here is something, actually, this is exactly a conversation that I had down in Peru as well with somebody, and from desire. Like if we try to manifest from a desire, what we're actually saying is, I want this thing because this thing fulfills a lack in me. And what we're actually saying and reinforcing is that me, as a child of God, has lack, that I'm not whole, perfect, and complete. So it ends up actually delaying and hurting you when you manifest, like when you use these types of powers to manifest your own desires versus like a collective desire. So I mean, we're kind of going deep into woo-woo-ness, and which is cool with me. I love that, and hopefully you guys aren't falling asleep to it. But you know, like really, the woman that I was speaking with, she says like it's all about the goddess. Okay, it's about Devi. It's a goddess that you are really calling forth to. Anything that you're manifesting is just a manifestation of the goddess, which is a reflection of you, so that you remember. So when you're using those types of energies, when you manifest and desire something, like if we're just trying to use it to get more money, like nothing wrong with that, but it actually triggers something else in our mind that isn't as holy and divine. It actually delays your holiness and divinity. So take it as you will, not that it's a fact or anything, but just reminded me of one of the conversations I had with this woman down in Peru.
Hey, just real quick, I have these DVDs if I can his name is Mantak Chow or something. Chai.
Uh-huh.
How do I flip the camera on this? But oh man, I don't know how to do this.
Just put it in front of the camera.
Oh,
You don't even need to flip it. There you go.
yeah, all these this is cosmic healing. This is Qi Kung, basic training, immune system, Qigong, general healing session. So yeah,
Uh,
that's kind of stuff I'm interested in. But anyways, I'll let you continue.
no, cool, cool, cool. I've seen those exact DVDs before, which is interesting. It's funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I
All
don't
right,
know
go
any.
ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, one thing that came up when you guys were chatting, the interesting part about TM is it works whether you believe in it or not. So you could think this is total bullshit, and if you do the practice, it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, we're really touching into this like very spiritual realm. Now, the question is, how do we use the spiritual realm and the spiritual practices that we all really have? You know, it doesn't have to be as woo-woo as what we're talking about right now, but everybody's got some sort of practice. Okay, you're praying for something, asking for something. Those are all like believing in a, you know, something that is intangible to achieve something that is tangible, right? Something that is from spirit to material. How do we bring that together and bring a level of peace into our life, bring harmony? You know, one of the things that I was sharing is in my Course in Miracles calls is about our perceptions of things. You know, like if we looked at a picture, right? It looks like a person's face. Then if we took a magnifying glass and looked at it, then we can't even see the person's face. And if we go into our bodies, like if we look at our blood cells, like our blood cells are at war. Literally, there's war going on in there all day, every moment. Something is killing something else off. The white blood cells are out to battle all day. But if we can only see that, we're like, man, this world is screwed up, right? But then we zoom out and then it's this body. So conflict at one level is actually harmony in another. So it's, you know, that's another, it's about shifting our perceptions. Like these ancient wisdoms should pull us away from what we see with our eyes and hear with our ears. You know, we've taken on and been conditioned by society, by our parents with these limiting beliefs. And how do we break out of them? You know, and it's like you got to have the willingness, you got to have the open-mindedness to be like, okay, there must be another way to look at it, and then it comes, you know. So, okay, go ahead, Rachel.
What about the chakras in your body? Um, your heart chakra, your head chakra, all of the chakras that you have. I think they all come to one and they help you to be a better person in general.
Well, they help you to be more centered as you understand them because there's blockages in different parts. Like sometimes we're blocked in the sacral chakra, sometimes we're blocked in the throat chakra, sometimes we're blocked in the crown chakra or the heart chakra, right? Like it's just about understanding how to open these little different parts and then having it be a channel. Okay, this is the same as when I think about like money, right? A lot of people all of us have some sort of scarcity money conversation. If we think about the chakras as a channel for energy to flow, money is the same way. If we block a certain channel of money, if we block the tithing part of ourselves, that is a chakra. It could be a chakra if you think about it in that way in terms of money that is blocked. And if it's blocked, then you don't allow more money to come in, right? As you don't allow more money to go out, you're blocking. So I
Bye.
so I would say, you know, like money is energy, is a flow of energy. And when you're mentioning chakras, that's like the channel in your body that allows energy to flow through. Like sometimes it's stuck in our throat and we just like anytime that we have to voice an opinion, we get very scared. You know, anytime we want to say something, we don't even know how to say it. Like our voice chakra, our throat chakra is completely blocked. And that blocks all the energies in our body and we get sick. right? So it's the same thing with, if we think about it, bringing it back to like money and investments, it's like, how willing am I to, tithe, to give to charity? How willing am I to invest in myself, to invest in an investment, period? Right? These are all parts of it. Like the more we close ourselves to it, it will close itself to us. Now that's, we're still continuing down these conversations where we're bringing the spiritual and the material together, and I love doing that. I talk about these. I do 2 calls a week on this actually. So on Sundays and Wednesdays, the Course in Miracle calls that I run, it's all about bring the material and the spiritual together into one. So, as I again, for those of you guys that are just joining too, welcome, Aman. It is about helping us focus in our daily life, right? That we're looking for these moments. We're looking for the things that will change us, change our hearts, change our belief systems, that will inspire us to take action, that will give us courage when we're afraid. And where can we find salvation when we are anxious, when we doubt? Like it's so important for us to be able to find that groundedness, especially in the US. I mean, in the US, North America, actually probably mostly around the world, but everybody is moving at such high speeds. And sometimes we don't even know which direction we're going. We think we know. So again, meditation, some of the things that have been shared here are awesome. Welcome, Jordy. Jody, and welcome, Rosemary. Wait. Rosemary's gonna get kicked out of this because Peru is her homeland. Except she's taking 10 years to join. Okay, anyways. So anybody else want to share any ancient wisdoms that have survived the test of time for you and deeply impacted the way you think about life, about the world, about investments, about money? Welcome, Rosemary.
Well, I've never been on a call like this. It's crazy. So how many people are, spiritually mindful of, you know, and you'd be surprised with how many these conversations when they do start, it just doesn't end.
Mm-hmm. Like it's the feeling, like on these calls, like I can't help myself. I always bring my calls to a more grounded spiritual place. Even when I'm teaching real estate, even when I'm teaching multifamily, and we will do that. What we're doing there is strategies and tactics, right? How to create financial freedom. Our event next Saturday is called this coming Saturday is called the Freedom Formula, right? And yes, there are tactics, but what we're sharing here is the beginning of that, which is the mindset, the heart set. Oh, the heart mindset, heart set. Oh, interesting. I've never said that word before. The mindset and the heart set. Like shifting those things to be grounded in the right place so that we can use the vehicles and the tools correctly. Because our world, there is a Ayurvedic, which is one of the oldest traditions from India, which is they have a prophecy, a projection, prophecy projection. They have a prophecy, let's call it, that our world, we've been working, like what we've been doing has not been working. That's why everything is so bottled up. Our entire economic system is like a house of cards, right? Because there is a way that is like profit first, that is so focused on profit in our world that people will jeopardize and compromise themselves for money and profits and certain things, right? And it's important now. There is a point that is going to come. Actually, the prophecy actually says there's going to be a huge like collapse in the next 5 years or so, and it says that in 2034 or around that year, I forgot what it was. I was sitting there listening to like from this woman that was talking, and she's like, 2034, there will be a global collective enlightenment about the way business is done. And I can see it. I can see it right now, even in my own thinking about, look, this is how BlackRock is behaving. This is how, the Wall Street is behaving and how they do business. Like everybody's caught on to this. RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr. is coming, is attacking them, and he's running for president, right? And it's out there now. That means there is a collective shift that will start to happen. But first, there might be some things that need to collapse first, right? And then just if that does happen, and when that does happen, like, can our hearts handle it? Right? Do we go into this panic with the rest of the world? Or can we be the still ones? Can we be the light to inspire other people to say, look, it's going to be okay? Because it's happening. There are people, and including myself sometimes, like we have a hotel deal right now. I'm like 200K, 220K in, non-refundable, and we have like 25 days left, and I'm nervous and I'm scared sometimes. Right? But there's still a part of me that's like, okay, I trust, and God's gonna take care, regardless if it closes or not, regardless if I lose the money or not. Right? Like that's the anchor that we want to find in ourselves, spiritually, for when those things and those times come. So this prophecy says that in the 2030s, I don't remember exactly what year she said, but it just made a lot of sense. And as I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, this is our world. There's going to be a collective awakening to the way business is done, to the way our economy is done. Because the way that it just keeps going now, it's propelling more suffering and more pain. And it's bottling up, and there's a point where it's going to explode. But that explosion, like if we can see it as a good thing, right? It might look terrible in the world. I don't know. Maybe there will be a war. I don't know. But the awakening from it is going to be, that's their prophecy. So I don't know, just dropping that out there. No idea if it's true or not or whatever, but it may not even look like a war. It may just look like a spiritual awakening on all ends. Right? People becoming more devotional and devoted to their practices. I don't know. Will there be recording of another Zoom? Oh, thank you. Yeah, there it's recorded. It will be on my YouTube channel. But so in the next, with that said, new money, crypto, restart finance. Yeah, maybe. It's all happening. It's moving towards that direction. So I want to just share one more time. Hopefully you guys can join us like virtually for our event this coming Saturday on 420, or be spontaneous and come to Vegas on Saturday. Uh, let's see. Is Nick over here still? Nick. Okay, I will do it. Just post it one more time for people that are just joining. And then you can use the code Alex50. All right, so what we're gonna do in the next 5 minutes here is I just open it up for a little more shares, and then I'm gonna break you guys out into breakout rooms, so you guys can get to network and with each other, just to share a little bit about yourselves. Let's see, the question that I'm gonna have you guys share with each other, since we're all in this space already. Hmm. something, I guess something vulnerable, just about something that you're afraid of maybe in today's market, in today's times, what you're going through, you know? Something vulnerable and then just hold the container for each other and let's see if we can deepen like relationships in that way, right? So something vulnerable, like what I'm afraid about in investing or in today's market is, right? And then we'll just have you guys share with each other in that way. Oh, all the all the people scattered away as we do that. Anyways, anybody else want to share anything before we give you guys that opportunity? It's really, it's great to network with each other since you're here already.
Brother Alex, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
I missed the beginning. I apologize. How was your vacation? Nothing like what you asked to, but how was your vacation? You had a good time? You recharged, right? Just really quick, brief second.
Yeah,
You had a
definitely
good time?
a lot more peace in my mind and my heart. Certainty, groundedness from going there. I will definitely be going there again, I think, towards the end of the year.
Nice.
In 2025, we're actually going to be running a retreat over there. So, stay tuned for that. We'll run a retreat in Peru. Okay, it'll probably be like 7 to 10 day
We're coming.
retreat.
So we're gonna come too. Okay. We're
Yeah.
gonna go party. You look refreshed, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Very nice. Yep, yep.
I actually flipped my hair the other way, and I actually have to train it because it just kind of sticks up right now. But I decided to do that. I know some people probably can't even tell, but usually it goes this way, but I flipped it, and now my hair has to be retrained.
Little change of the wind.
Hmm. All right. So, what else?
Are you are you putting us in the group
Yep,
or
I'm gonna break
splitting
you
us?
guys out then. Yeah, I'm gonna
Break
break
up.
you guys out into rooms. So yeah, just share vulnerably. We're in the space already of that. So see if you can deepen relationships here. So five. I'm gonna do 4 rooms because yay. Uh, 4 divided by that. That's what, 6. All right, because I know not everybody's gonna be in the rooms, but I'll give you guys a chance to go and network with each other. Be back in like 15 minutes or so. Rooms are open. Awesome.
Is there no conversation going on in this room, in this breakout room?
Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
That's
Yes.
probably because I got my earpiece on them. Should be off.
I can assign you guys to a breakout room.
Oh, you guys just hanging out over here? Is this like a separate breakout, a separate waiting room?
This is just the main room for anyone who
Oh, man.
go in. If you guys click that, you should be able to go in.